Oh, do subscribe to Husbandry now, because, you see, this ancient wall technique explains why soils collapsed elsewhere, but, remarkably, remained fertile for centuries right where people built them. If you have ever wondered why certain ancient farms stayed productive long after empires fell, well, the answer is not only in seeds or tools. It is, in fact, hidden in walls that were alive. Long before soil science existed as a discipline, farmers and builders across forested and mountainous regions constructed walls that partnered stone, wood and fungus into a living system. These fungus-supported walls did not merely hold back earth. They repaired soil, managed water, and regenerated fertility season after season. Subscribing to Husbandry means staying connected to these kinds of forgotten systems that, honestly, still outperform modern fixes when understood correctly. Ancient fungus walls were built to manage water, not just terrain. Most people assume ancient walls were defensive or structural, but in agricultural landscapes, that assumption really fails. Terraces in Asia, Europe, and parts of Africa were often built with deliberate gaps, organic cores, and layers of decaying wood. These were not construction flaws. Actually, they were fungal incubators. When wood is buried alongside stone and soil, fungal networks naturally colonize it. The ancients understood this, even if they lacked modern terminology. These walls slowed water during heavy rain, absorbed it into fungal biomass, and released it gradually downslope. Instead of erosion stripping nutrients away, water was, well, filtered through living material that bound soil particles together. Mycelium acted as a living mortar that, honestly, modern concrete just cannot replace. Fungal mycelium forms these dense fibrous networks that grip soil and stone simultaneously. In ancient walls, buried branches, bark and woody debris became long-term anchors once colonized. As the wood slowly decomposed, the fungal network expanded, replacing physical structure with biological structure. This is why archaeologists still find intact terrace walls where the original timber has long vanished. The fungus did not vanish. It transformed the wall into a self-supporting soil organism. Unlike mortar, which cracks and fails, mycelium adapts under pressure and repairs itself. You know, these walls quietly fix soil chemistry year after year. The soil benefits went far beyond stability. Fungi break down complex organic matter into plant-available nutrients. As roots intertwined with fungal threads near these walls, nutrients moved efficiently into crops. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and micronutrients were retained instead of leached away. You know, many ancient farming zones actually show higher organic matter near terrace walls than out in the open fields. And, well, this wasn't just some accidental enrichment. The walls themselves acted as fertility engines, composting underground without the need for turning, hauling, or even any external inputs. So, let's talk about how ancient builders managed to construct these fungus-friendly walls with just a few simple steps. The process was, honestly, quite straightforward but also very intentional. Builders would start by laying stones loosely instead of fitting them tightly together. This approach created little pockets for airflow and moisture. Then they'd layer branches, bark and sometimes straw behind the stone face before backfilling everything with soil. The wall was never sealed completely. Small gaps allowed fungal spores to enter and moisture to circulate. Over time, fungi colonized the organic core. Roots followed. The wall matured into a living boundary rather than a dead barrier. Maintenance involved adding fresh organic matter every few years, often during field clearing or pruning seasons. You know, this ancient method can still be applied today to repair soil. It's really quite impressive how these age-old techniques continue to offer solutions for the challenges we face now. This approach, believe it or not, remains practical for modern growers, especially on slopes or, well, degraded land. A small-scale version can be built using stacked stones or even untreated logs. To get started, you simply place woody debris along a contour line. Then stack stones or earth-packed bags loosely against it. After that, just backfill with soil mixed with leaf litter or compost. Now, water the area well and leave it undisturbed. Within just a few months, fungal growth will bind the structure together. Over time, the wall will reduce runoff, increase soil depth upslope, and create a microclimate that supports roots even during dry periods. It's rather fascinating how nature lends a hand, isn't it? Gardeners have, really successfully used this technique to stabilize raised beds, rebuild eroded paths, and restore compacted slopes without relying on concrete or steel. Why is it, I wonder, that modern retaining walls often make soil worse instead of better? Concrete walls, well, they reflect heat shed water violently and, quite frankly, isolate soil from biological processes. They might solve a short-term structural problem, but in doing so, they create long-term fertility loss. Ancient fungus walls avoided these problems by working with decay instead of resisting it. Decay was not seen as failure. It was, actually, the engine that powered regeneration. Archaeological evidence confirms these walls were deliberate systems. Excavations in terraced landscapes consistently reveal organic layers embedded in walls. These were not construction leftovers. They were placed intentionally. Soil samples show fungal dominance rather than bacterial dominance, which is, a key indicator of long-term soil health. In regions where modern terraces replaced ancient ones with concrete, soil productivity often declined within decades. Where ancient walls remained intact, farming continued with minimal external input. Now, the deeper lesson hidden in these living walls. You see, it's not just about their form or function, but something, more profound, something that speaks to the very heart of husbandry itself. The ancients did not separate structure from ecology. Their walls fed the land while holding it in place. They understood that stability comes from life, not rigidity. This knowledge matters now more than ever as soils degrade under mechanical solutions that, well, ignore biology. Reviving these techniques is not nostalgia. It is practical restoration based on systems that already proved themselves over centuries. Subscribe to Husbandry for more deep dives into agricultural knowledge that survived because it worked, and share this guide with others who believe soil should be healed, not restrained.